Today we're going to be talking about the mistakes people make when renting cloud GPUs, and I'm going to go over three key things to know when you get into the game of renting cloud servers, what each provider does the best, because right now there's three main providers that you're going to be running cloud compute from if you're doing AI workloads, and essentially kind of my setup right now, and I'll bring it up on a screen, is I just use, what I do is I have Visual Studio Code, I have Clyde integrated, and then what I do is that I then give it API keys of these different providers, and it can do different AI workloads if it needs on certain things, and it gives it additional capabilities, especially when you're talking about the B300 with 288 gigabytes of VRAM. But essentially, let me get into it. Vast.ai is the cheapest, but also the most expensive, because the bandwidth bill of Vast.ai is the only one where the bandwidth that you consume, the pricing adjusts depending on the provider. So what you start to realize with Vast.ai is really good when you're looking to rent a super cheap consumer GPU because they have the largest marketplace. But if you want to run larger workloads, you either want to use RunPod or Modal. They both work different ways but are similar, as both of them do not have bandwidth costs like Vast.ai, but Vast.ai is like really if you want a super cheap GPU, cloud GPU, that essentially, if it's a lower VRAM GPU and it's cheap, then you wouldn't consume the bandwidth and then spike up the cost. So that's where Vast.ai comes in handy. But RunPod, in my opinion, is the best all-rounder. So it's really good for your medium to high workloads. And then Modal is the most costly, but also they give you the most features. So like with RunPod, it's harder to load an instance with a CPU container and then transfer that to the GPU when you're ready and maximize basically your credits, where Modal has that. So essentially, think of Vast AI as small AI workloads when you want to connect to a cloud server. RunPod's going to be medium to high, depending on what your opinion, like what you think high is, and then Modal is for your really large projects where you're running the B300. The B300 might have a 200 gigabyte model, so that's where Modal is going to come into play. But I hope you like this video, very random topic, and I thank you for watching this video. Catch you in the next one.